welcome to Math for Success interview. For those of you who don't know me, I am Darlene and I'm the creator and writer of the Math for Success teacher guidebooks, kindergarten through grade 6, and I also have a professional resource for subitizing that you can find on my website at www.mathforsuccess.org. Today I'm going to take a few minutes to spend with a teacher in his last practicum of his fourth year at university, and that's Peter Ehrman. He is with one of our grade 1 teachers, Lisa Hanna, at Ecole Olds Elementary School, and he has been on a journey with me in these last couple of months. So I have some questions for him that he's going to answer for us, and I think they're of value to those people in the elementary and even in the secondary teaching profession for that area of mathematics. So welcome, Peter.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you could make it today. I have a few questions for you with regards to mathematical learning and understanding. And you have been doing some work with me in the past couple of months that you've been at our school. And you've had the opportunity to come and observe my classes at a grade 3 level. I've modeled in your grade 1 classroom for you. And you've also seen me in action with the staff at the staff meetings. And my question to you is, how has that work helped you in the understanding and the learning of mathematics?
Yeah, it's been a great help. I think math is the subject that I least feel qualified to teach or confident in teaching. And I think just watching you, even in the staff meeting or model in my grade 1 class and then coming to your class, it's made me realize that math is a scaffolding. It's an adventure into scaffolding where you can't just think about the future, or you can't just think about, I guess, the grade you're in, but you have to think about what grade comes next. So for me, grade 2, grade 3, where do they come from kindergarten? And it's kind of putting all those pieces together into something that works and that flows. So I think that's been really good.
There was something when we were just kind of practicing, we were talking about the fluidity. And I'm not sure if that goes with the first question or the second question.
The fluidity across grades of math. So you're finding those commonalities in curriculum that you can pull together so that students, when they do go on into the future grade or the next grade, that they do have those resources to pull back on, or those facts or that knowledge to use. So that comes into the scaffolding, and it's that the math, it's not just one compartment by itself. It can be transferred into social studies, into science, and it can be it's so fluid because it is part of our daily life. And I think using your philosophy helps you understand that and helps students understand that too.
So, Peter, what I'm hearing you say is something that really resonated with me is that you said that it's about everyday life. It's not just doing a mathematical piece or fact. It's about our everyday life and connects to that. And that I find very interesting because I've just began reading a book called The 4 Roles of the Numerate Learner.
Okay.
And I can't remember the author of it, but I will post that picture of that book onto my website for people to be able to grab a hold of and read, because that's what they're talking about. Mathematical literacy, the numerate learner being, it's about applying mathematics into real life and being able to problem solve. Okay. So that I find fascinating, that's where your thinking is of what you've learned. And so my next question to you is, has this changed your attitude towards teaching mathematics as well as changing your practice in terms of even where you started in your practicums and your learning?
Yeah, for sure. I think the major thing that has changed is that fluidity part. So you're not just focused on, I'm going to do a unit on addition, and that's it. You're thinking about, okay, what is that going to lead into eventually, and kind of you're drawing things that the students might already know or have in their heads, the knowledge they have, and you're using that in that. And the daily problem solving part, just thinking back to today, it's St. Patrick's Day on Friday. So the kids were so excited all week about the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So you built that, or I built that into everything.
Right.
We did that week, and every day. How many days until St. Patrick's Day? So okay, sit down, let's think about it. So it's just they're realizing the daily life, and you realize that too. And yeah, it's so fluid because it is a part of every day.
Yes, and I like, again, it excites me to hear that you are connecting it to their interests. And again, that's something that I read at the very beginning of the book. how we have to connect with our students and find out what they're interested in, what they're excited in, and bring that into that mathematical learning.
Yeah.
So that's another great thing to hear.
Yeah.
Now, when you graduate, because you're on your road
Yeah,
to
almost
graduation,
done. Yeah. Came fast.
yes, it's exciting, isn't it? And when you look at your first job, whatever you may get in the elementary level, are you believing and thinking that you're going to be able to approach mathematics more confidently than when you started your practicums in university?
Something that I think about when I imagine myself teaching math, maybe next year or whatever, is the fact that you can't let yourself be overwhelmed by it, with that end goal.
Yep.
Then I think that's going to help a lot, and I feel going forth with that in my mind, I have a lot more confidence in myself and then in my teaching ability too. Yeah.
Your answers are intriguing me because it's always bringing me back to
Yeah.
things that I've read. And when you say that again, Peter, with it's pieces of the puzzle and some don't fit and you got to go back. And that goes back to that Visible Learning of Mathematics book by John Hattie, because he talks about 3 levels of learning: surface level learning, deep learning, and transfer learning. And he said it's not in steps, it's not sequential.
Yeah.
They are always going back and forth.
forth.
And I think that's about, because as they're trying to put those pieces together and cement that learning together. So it's just intriguing listening to your answers and making those connections of those things. And what about your enthusiasm towards mathematics? When you were in high school or school, and when you look back at your attitude and your excitement for your own learning of mathematics back and now, is there a difference?
There's a huge difference. Yeah, math didn't like math at all throughout elementary or even high school. But now I don't think of math as math. I think of it as that puzzle piece. You're putting things together each day for you and your students, and just knowing that rewards come out of that are unexpected, that I'd never realized before in teaching. It's a puzzle piece, and when your students can put that puzzle piece in for the day, it's an amazing feeling that you get as a teacher, to be able to let them do that. So I think my math enthusiasm has increased a lot, and part of that is because of the confidence, for sure, and just it's a puzzle piece, and I realized that I really like doing math puzzles, not actually math puzzles, but thinking of it in an artistic journey, I guess, is doing math each day. You're putting those puzzle pieces in. The end goal, when you get there, it looks pretty cool, and it feels cool too.
Neat.
Yeah.
So would you say that your feeling of mathematics in elementary and high school, because you didn't see that creativity or that the way you see it now, or because you didn't understand it, or the way it was taught? Like, could you help me understand
more
that?
there wasn't a creative aspect to it. So I remember in grade 12 last year of high school, last year of math became a lot more interesting to me, because the teacher I had in grade 12 was more about that real life application, as compared to just learning math facts or math strategies that I remember before. So that application to daily life, and when you as a student feel involved and like math applies to you, then I think that's where the enthusiasm comes from. And I think math now, because it feels like that puzzle, it's more applicable to me. That's where the enthusiasm comes from.
So in elementary school, did you, and up to your high school, did you just do a lot of where the traditional way teachers teach, you did work? Like
I remember,
pencil work?
especially in high school, we had a big math book for each grade, and you did 4 pages or whatever a day. And that's what I remember from there. I don't remember, there might be a couple times I remember we actually did a fun activity that was more hands-on or more visual. But other than that, it was a lot of just watch the board, watch the teacher, and do some worksheets.
So I'm going to throw one last question at you that I actually didn't give you in the question interview, because I wanted to just ask you this without you having that thought. You're a beginner teacher, and it's amazing your learning that has grown and what your answers that you're giving me. And if you were to talk to your university peers or teachers beginning or even seasoned teachers who struggle sometimes with a change in how they need to teach, or they may not enjoy the mathematics teaching, because we do all have preference,
Yep.
we have interests. What advice would you give to people to help them get to the point that you got to through your practicum with mathematics?
I would say just take a deep breath and just step back and just take a look at it, and don't be afraid to seek help or look for help, whether it's using other teachers as resources, a teacher in China, whatever. Using online resources, academic resources, and just using yourself and your confidence that can be built over time as a resource. I think that's the main stuff. Just take a step back and don't be afraid to seek help.
Okay. And last thing, what's your thoughts on, if you were to give advice, a traditional method of unit by unit teaching, or an integrated method in which they're connecting strands?
Definitely integrated. So, for example, the daily math calendar, you could include so much from everything in that. Say, if you do it for half an hour a day in that math calendar, that it helps students in their fluidity. They're finding connections from different sources, from different experiences, and pulling things out of their brain of knowledge, math knowledge, to use right there and then. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Excellent. And we will be doing another little talk on calendar and learn more about that. So I would like to thank you very much, Peter, for taking the time and joining with me today, and your answers have been of great value to me, even as a seasoned teacher of 25 years. I appreciated all the words of wisdom you really have for a beginning teacher. So thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. So that is the end of the interview with Peter Ehrman, and again, it's Darlene Kusek for Math for Success. My website is www.mathforsuccess.org. Thank you.